Hi there, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel. Today I am doing a layout featuring my grandson and his 10th-month photos and a whole lot of Chamel product. If you follow my channel, you know I use a lot of her product in his album, actually primarily her product. I just love her collections and the brightness, and my daughter loves them too, so that's why we decided to go ahead and use those for his album. In this particular layout, I am using, let's see here, oh my gosh, I'm using some Go Now Go, some Head in the Clouds, some Field Trip, there's a whole bunch. And that's one thing I love about her product, and I've said it in a lot of my videos, and you're probably going to hear it on a lot more, but I love how a lot of her stuff works together. So that's why I end up using it all together. I just have a whole bin of her stuff. It can go on the go with me, and you know, I can use it for a whole bunch of stuff. That particular green piece there, I was going to use the green side up, and then I loved the opposite side, so I ended up deciding to use both. And I really love how this layout came out. Originally, I also had the green right underneath the one with all of the vines, but I will end up going and putting another piece of paper in between those two so that it stands out more. And I was originally going to use that piece of ledger paper also, but I'm going to swap that out more towards the end, you'll see. I always seem to have trouble using the rainbow, star, and polka dot papers. I don't know why. I don't know what my issue is, but it's something that I don't really notice that I struggle using them, except that they're always the last ones left in my container of products. So when I put his photos on top of this particular paper, I knew I needed to use it because the colors in the blocks that have his name on it were just perfect to go with those rainbow stars. And maybe that's the key. Maybe my photos have too much going on usually to go on top of those particular types of papers. But this one is pretty simple. It's a lot of green, a lot of blues from his jeans and his actually I think they're overalls anyway. There's a lot of blues, and then the only real bursts of color are the blocks that have his name on it. So anyway, maybe that's the answer. I don't know. But I really did love how it looked, and so that's why I ended up going with it. Now originally I was going to put some layers down in that bottom right hand corner. I don't end up doing that. I'm going to move that to the upper left hand corner. But that was my thought, and I was going to use a little bit of this particular piece of the branding strip down there, but then it was really close to the blocks in the photo, and so I decided to bring it up to the upper left just to give a little bit of space. And I have everything really low on this layout. Everything is right on the bottom shelf. So I left the branding strip on that star paper, and then I added another branding strip from Field Trip, and that's the rainbow arrows. And I apologize that I'm off screen a little bit. You will see it in the close-ups and as I move things around a little, but I've added those down below. And then I totally forget to cut off the top of the layout to take into account that I left the branding strip on. So you will see me tear it apart up at the top and have to make that change at the bottom. But it all works out in the end. I also thought I was going to have a lot of trouble using the pigeons that are in the ephemera pack from Sparkle City, but they end up on this layout too. So there's a whole lot of stuff on this layout that I thought I'd have a more difficult time using. And typically most of the stuff in her collections I have no problem with, but I could not figure out what I was ever going to put birds on, and lo and behold, they end up on this layout, and they look great, and I like it. I kept trying to get that little piece that says love on it and the kid approved, but they don't make it in the end. I'm going to swap out and add some different things. that is the ephemera pack from Field Trip. And then now I'm breaking into the Sparkle City one, which I've already pulled a bunch of stuff out of. But now I'm just pulling those birds together, and I don't know, I love how they look on here. I think it's perfect because, you know, he's outside, birds are outside, it all works great. Um, these do look like park photos, but they are in fact in front of his house, so um, it works out. Those little tiny ticket pieces, I'm going to end up using the blue one and the red one. Those are also from Field Trip. The viewfinder, I love the viewfinder, and I didn't know what I would ever use the viewfinder for, but it's perfect on this layout. And then I was going to use some cameras as well, but I end up using only, I think, one camera in the upper left. And I went back and forth between a couple of the different green ones. So I think the green one that's up there right now is from Head in the Clouds, but I end up using one from, I think it's from Glitter Girl, but I could be wrong on that. I'm not really following a sketch, and I don't normally have everything so low on the page, but I get tired of doing the same kind of layouts, and so sometimes I kind of switch things up and go, oh, I'm going to completely switch where I would normally put my photos and start with that and then build from there. And that's what I did on this layout. Normally I would have my photos, you know, in the lower right, the lower left, the upper right, the upper left, you know, on that um, the rule of thirds deal where you make the tic-tac-toe grid and put it on an intersecting line. Well, that works great, and it's a great design concept, but sometimes I get tired of it and I want to just do something completely different. So I went right in the center as low as I could, without going off the page, of course. So I do like that it looks like there's a little bit of a shelf because I left the branding strip on this, and the branding strip is blue. You will see that when you see the close-ups. I, again, apologize for being off screen, and that's one of the reasons I decided to use that blue tag at the top, or banner at the top. I'm also pulling in a little bit of striped paper up there, and then I am going to leave the journaling spots empty on this page. My daughter will go in and fill those out when she's over next time and going through the layouts that I've created. Sometimes I fill them out, sometimes she fills them out. Just depends on whether I was there with them the particular day that the photos were taken, or if there's a particular story I want to tell. Otherwise, I leave them blank because she's got a lot of stories that she wants noted in his albums, and these are, you know, the perfect thing for, or place for her to capture those, since she's not actually doing any scrapbooking right now. So this is, I totally forgot I should have cut the top of the paper off to account for leaving the branding strip, and so I'll get this all built and then have to go ahead and change it. It's a pretty easy fix, so bear with me. I am popping some things up onto foam. A lot of times when I tuck things in, I tuck the bottom edge in, and then the top edge I pop up on foam so that there's a little bit of lift. And I like how that looks. I like that it gives extra dimension. And I like that it looks like somebody's kind of like flipped through the papers. So that's why I do that. And then I'm just trying to get the placement of the pigeons down, and without it looking like it's on his head or anything like that. I don't know, these pigeons are just too cute. But here's a fun fact. This is his 10-month photos, and I had bought my daughter one of those little sticker books that has a sticker for every first thing in his life, like first Christmas, first Halloween, first Easter, 5 months, 6 months, 7 months. So you stick the photo in the picture, or you stick the sticker in the photo so that you have, you know, have it marked on the photo. And he has become aware of the stickers. And so there were actually photos in this series of photos where he's playing with the sticker. He had it on his head. She couldn't hide it from him anymore. Um, so the sticker's missing, and the blocks actually just say his name, and it's, I don't know, it was kind of cute and funny. Um, and then rather than spelling out months, I just put MOS as an abbreviation. So um, she will have a little bit of space on that blue card to write, and then this is where I realized that I didn't cut off the top of the paper. So here we go. Got to go ahead and cut it off and trim it down, which brings the embellishment cluster down. So I'm going to end up trimming the bottom piece of paper off, the blue little ledger piece of paper, and then the little bird is going to have to overlap it just a little bit. It works out in the end, and I do like how the whole layout comes together. Pretty close to the end here. Thanks so much for watching. Stick around for the close-ups. They'll be along in just a few moments. I'm going to add some puffy stickers, and that'll be pretty much it. See you next time.